Hi everyone, I'm Regina Wong, coming to you live from the mountains of CTCI. I'm from Singapore and I work with YWAM and I lead a homeless ministry. I've been with YWAM for 16 years. Last year I was on a sabbatical and I was applying for a school in YWAM and that didn't work out. So on the website of that YWAM base was another course called the Advanced Counseling Training Series. And I applied for that course instead. And Paul Rodriguez, who runs that course, told me to come to CTCI to take this course. So I came to do X for 2 weeks and it just blew my mind because while I was going through X, I received a lot of healing personally, just from the environment of the inn and just the way I was being treated and seeing what was going on in the community. And because I was on a sabbatical, I was in a time of restoration, and so it meant a lot to me to receive this healing. So when I left the inn, I was just scratching my head wondering, what was it about the inn that healed me? And I couldn't put my finger on it. So I decided to just call Larry and Susan and ask them about it. Like I asked them, could you tell me more about the inn? And I just felt that the vision of my homeless ministry was really in line with what was happening at the inn. That it was a place of restoration and a place that brought healing to the broken. And there was just something at the inn that I wanted to know that was so special, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So I just wanted to come and experience what was going on in order to know how to create a place of refuge for the broken. And so I brought my team 6 months later to experience this and to learn from the staff and leaders at the inn. When my team came, we went through a lot of personal restoration individually, and man, we were rebuked big time as a team because we had to work through lots of conflict and communication issues that we had, and it was tough but so good. I think we really learned how to change our perspective of one another and learn how to really function as a family. We learned how to communicate and what clear communication really meant. And Larry, Susan, Tim and Esther, they walked with us through the conflicts that we faced. We also learned about how to function as men and women in relationship to one another, and just how to be a healthy kingdom family and how to value people above performance or ministry. What my team did was really work at relationship between ourselves first and value each other's calling and journey. And so we did a lot of team times and just family times. Rather than doing a lot of ministry together, we began to focus on building each other up and really speaking into each other's lives. And as we did that, I think the whole team just grew and began to value one another and began to learn how to be instead of do or perform. And in the base, there were people just watching us rebuild our ministry. They were reading the things that we wrote on our board and just being really encouraged by it. As a leader, they would see me just spend time with my team members and have fun and eat together and not just work together but do life together. And they began to ask me to run the love feasts, which are monthly dinners for the entire base, and run the staff retreats, and people just began to come and say, hey, I really enjoyed that love feast. Even just sitting together and doing the simple things like having a conversation or learning one another's names or just finding out what each other's favorite food is. We got people to just stand up and introduce themselves and their surnames and to share a little bit about themselves. We said that you can't bring your phone to the dining table, and all the parents were applauding that because they really liked that idea. And it was a bit nerve-wracking for us to come in to implement these changes, but it worked and everyone just loved it. One of the things we did was rebuild our entire ministry based on a family and fatherhood, because we have a lot of homeless men who are on the streets because they have multiple family issues, and most of them don't know how to be fathers, sons, or husbands. And we just had to address this in their lives rather than just building general relationships with them. We had to really model what it meant to be family and show them what a godly husband or man would do. We still have a long way to go in working with the homeless regarding just their issues about their families, but just coming from the angle of fatherhood, it has really empowered our volunteers and staff to know what to talk about with the homeless and to create a safe environment where they know that they are accepted, where they know they can be loved and be able to work through the tough issues in their life, their past and their baggage, and yeah, to just have the truth spoken into these really dark and hidden areas in their life. I think that has opened up a lot of freedom and a lot of healing for them, because most of them have never been able to talk about it to anyone. I came back this time for the third time because after re-establishing the ministry, the base had seen the changes in us and in our ministry and had asked me to come and implement all this at the base level. And so I just felt that I needed more knowledge and discipleship and guidance. It's really refreshing to come here to be in a different environment and to be told to just be myself versus do really great ministry. I think in Singapore we tend to be very task-oriented, and we always look at the value of a person through the eyes of how good a person does ministry rather than who the person really is and the value of an individual. So coming here, it has really refreshed me and my team and given us such a different paradigm to relate to one another, as well as just a lot of relaxation out of doing ministry, because it just flows from that place of being a child of God and being a family. I guess I keep coming back because this is a place where, as you can see, this place is really quiet and it's beautiful and there's no distraction, which is really different from Singapore, where just the rhythm of city life gets to you, and like there's a lot of anxiety about making decisions about whether you take the bus, the train, where you're gonna go, where you're gonna eat next. And coming here, it really helps me to quieten down and just be alone with God, to be still and to be restored. And I just feel that here, people really care about me and pour out so much into me. And there's no judgment, and yeah, I can just really walk through things. I would encourage people to come to Train and Reign because this is a place where you can just set aside time for you and God and nothing else, and to just be honest about the place that you are at. And honestly, I've been through so many relationship and marriage and family workshops and teachings all my life, and coming here to hear the teaching at Train to Reign, it's been pretty revolutionary. It's simple yet so practical, and it's new stuff that I've never heard before, but yet changes so much of my own perspective. Yeah, even my friends who are new parents, they hear what I share about what I learned in Train to Reign, and they just ask me to teach them that, even though I'm not a parent. If I could sum up my time at the inn in one phrase and one thing that I learned, it would be that a safe place with healthy relationships produces fruitful ministry. Thank you so much for watching. Bye lah!